Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my weekly update. It's Sunday, the 21st of March. There's no video update last week just because there wasn't really anything to update you on, just a sort of a reality of what's going to be happening in the future and other things that we've been doing the week before. But nothing had changed, and it was just another week to tick off. But here we are, 3 weeks to go. That is it, 3 weeks. For some students who have just been attending one class a week, it's three classes, minimum three classes until we are back face to face, which is really, really exciting. And isn't it great to be able to talk about dates and those dates really being tangible now, and children can start to see those. They can think that we're coming towards the end of March, the next month being April, and that's when we're going to start seeing each other. And it's wonderful to start to speak to students online and reminding them how close we are, and then seeing them get excited. So we can't wait, and I'm sure they can't wait as well. It's worthwhile, as I always say, just reflecting briefly on what everyone's been through in the last year, really. But it's also worth not dwelling on that. And we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot as instructors in our school. I'm sure you've learned a lot as individuals, as families, learnt some new skills, maybe overcome some huge challenges, and hopefully some positives have come from it as well. The attitude of the students online has been fantastic. Their determination to continue training, and the standard of things as well has been going up and up and up. So well done to everybody, and you should be really, really proud of that. But let's really now put all our energies into looking forwards, making sure that the little ones obviously are settled back in school and enjoying their learning again and being back into that routine. And then we're back into the routine of classes as well. Do remember, though, that some little ones and adults as well might be a little bit apprehensive of coming back face to face until maybe May or June. And that is absolutely fine. And that's why when we do come back face to face from week beginning 12th of April, we will be providing a Zoom class at the same time. And that's exactly how we did prior to Christmas last year. We ran Zoom classes at the same time. And that works really, really well, and integrating those at home with the students that were there as well. So they can still do that until they feel confident enough to come through into face-to-face. Where possible, I would encourage that. And the sooner they can do that, the better. And then certainly by June, but it'd probably be by May, we will be stopping the Zoom classes altogether and just saying that it is face-to-face. But I'll update you on when that will completely vanish. Moving forward into the future, it's great that we are more comfortable with online classes. And so worst case scenario, if something were to happen, that is always an option as an emergency. Not necessarily a go-to all the time, but as an emergency to make sure we maintain the classes. And also we'll be looking at providing some extra tuition for students, maybe during the holidays, leading up to championships, maybe a little bit of extra grading practice, and we'll be looking to do that on Zoom. It's a lot more convenient, and we can actually help a lot of students all at the same time. So lots of positives from what's been happening over the last year. So in the last couple of weeks, what's been happening? It's been a real grading focus, hasn't it? Whether students are grading or not this month, they might be grading next month, they might be grading in a couple of months' time, next year, whenever it might be. It's a real focus on honing those skills and growing the confidence in the students in that they know the techniques and the drills, and that they can perform them better and better and better. And as we've been saying to everybody this week and reminding them this week, that sometimes things are difficult. Sometimes we might not get that skill straight away. We might not remember that drill straight away in the same way, whether it's homework from school or other activities. And it does take time. If we give up, we'll never be able to achieve anything. So sometimes we just have to be a little bit patient. But the tiniest improvement, whether it's in confidence, self-esteem, actual skill and technical ability, the tiniest move forward is better than none at all. And that's what we need to be remembering. It doesn't have to be huge leaps every single time. As long as we are moving forwards, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, that's really important. So lots and lots of grading prep and curriculum work for everybody in the last couple of weeks, and that will continue this week as well, leading up to the online grading on the 28th, so next Sunday, which has come around really quick, and really great to see the students applying themselves. And I know that the standard will be just as good as it was last year as well, when we held a couple of online gradings. Really pleased with those, so I cannot wait to be running those this coming Sunday. Obviously the kids are back at school as well, and I do hope they're settling into that routine. As expected, and no doubt at home as well, you've probably seen the little ones rather tired, particularly after just 2 weeks, and that's to be expected. Some students may not have been in that environment for a very long time, and that routine as well, and mentally and physically it is draining. And we have noticed that online as well. We've tailored the classes a little bit just to make sure they're not as intense, but to make sure the learning is still there. But hopefully they're still enjoying it, they're still excited about being back at classes. But don't be worried if they are unusually tired at the moment. It just take a little bit of time for the body and the mind to adjust, and they will be there raring to go, I'm sure. So just a couple of main topics really. The grading coming up. For those that have been invited, congratulations first and foremost. And just a reminder that you must register for the grading. The deadline for that is this Thursday, so that's the 25th. Okay, that's the 25th. The grading is on Sunday the 28th. So if you have been invited, you have received a text and also a reminder as well. On that text, it shows you exactly where you need to do the documents that you need to read. Please do take the time to read the document. It has all the answers to your questions on there in terms of homework and things like that as well. When you do register, and you register by firstly reading all the documents and then secondly by paying online, you are confirming that you have read all the documents. You have read the online safety guide as well about how we run online grading safely, and that you are happy with that as well. Okay, so please do make sure you register before Thursday. If for whatever reason, whether you think that actually you prefer your little one to do a face-to-face grading, absolutely fine, that's not a problem at all. The next colour belt grading will be in June, and we'll let you know in due course more details about that, and that is not a problem at all. So with those that are looking to panel grade, so those students who are red stripe and above, your next opportunity, and that's the first opportunity for 2021, will be on the 2nd of May. And you will notice that from this week, your training will really start to ramp up. Whether you might be ready in May or not, but it's good to test ourselves and see where we are in relation to the syllabus, how we should be physically and mentally, and how we apply ourselves as well. So your training will really start to ramp up from this week, and you will notice that as well. Panel grading, like any other grading, but more so with panel gradings, it's really important that you do the extra work and not just relying on the work that we do with you in the classes. So doing that extra little bit and making sure that you are really confident with everything if you want to be making that progress. Okay, and that's the panel grading on the 2nd of May. With regard to the online panel, just a couple of things just to note and just to remind you of. If you have been invited and if you are attending and you've registered, please make sure you log in early. When you've paid online, I'll send you a confirmation text of that. I know some of you have done that over the last couple of days, and I'll be sending out confirmation texts of payment and also with the Zoom code as well. So do make sure you log in early. You must be in full uniform. That's the top, trousers and your belt as well. And obviously have a drink of water there as well. With regard to the paperwork, all you need to do is read the paperwork. With the juniors and their homework, by all means, if you want to print it off to help them learn it, that is a great idea, but you do not need to email or send any paperwork to us whatsoever. We're not handling any paperwork at the moment. It's one of those COVID policies, and you just need to read it. As I say, print it off for the little ones if they want to help them learn the philosophies, and that's absolutely fine. When you're logging on, please make sure you log on and your ID, your screen ID, is the student's name plus their current belt. Not the belt they're applying for, their current belt. Should be in the habit of doing that. So please make sure that's in place. For the little ones, we are allowing, obviously it's a grading, so we can't have distractions. Okay, we can't have people behind the camera prompting and helping, reminding and so on, because it is a test. However, for online safety, we are allowing for the little ones one adult to be in the room. But that adult must be behind the eye line of the student and off camera as well. Okay, and obviously not taking part in the grading and not helping or prompting. If we find and this is for all ages, if we find that a student is being helped by anybody at any stage, or they're doing something that is not acceptable online, then we will terminate that grading for them straight away. Okay, so please make sure you have read and understood those guidelines to make sure that the students are being tested in a safe way and that gets the best out of them. And this is for them, remember. Okay. Make sure there are no distractions, so no cats and dogs running around and people walking in and out of the room and things like that. And make sure there's obviously plenty of space. So where they normally train anyway. Okay, so yes, the little ones, one adult, but they must be behind the eye line of the little one and off screen as well. Okay, to help them. So that's the grading. If you have been invited, keep practicing, practice. Come to lots of classes this week and you will be great, I am sure. Okay. Looking towards the week of the 12th of April, and just a reminder of booking for your space online. Every student, and this is part of our COVID safe policy, and this enables us to return to face-to-face classes, same as last year, every student for every class must book online. Now, I appreciate with school, with COVID policies for absolutely everything, COVID policies with work and lots of things going on, there are so many things to read and understand and remember and so on. But we have been doing this for some time now, so there really are no excuses. Please make sure you book either yourself or your child in for every class, and for siblings as well. Please try and do that in time, so with plenty of time. Please don't drive to the location and then sit in the car park 5 minutes before the class and log your student in. The reason we must do that is to make sure that we don't overcrowd the space. We can only have a set number of students in the room, and then what we have to do, irrespective of the numbers, we set the class up so that every student has got their own space and it's safe. It's safe for them to train. It's safe for them to walk in and walk out, walk to the toilet and so on like that. And also we know how many instructors we can have in the room as well. We had a few instances last year, particularly with juniors, where juniors were turning up. Now, obviously, a lot of the time it's not their fault and we don't want to turn people away, but the junior classes in particular are busy. And unfortunately, if it gets to the point where it's going to be unsafe, we don't want to have to turn anybody away. So please do plan ahead and just book it online. Okay, any questions, do let us know. When you do book online, you are also confirming that you have read the COVID safe policies for each area. All right. Now, just a little reminder on those. Yes, your uniform and your belt, and you need a drink. You don't need to bring anything else to class, no bags and things. For the moment, you don't need to bring, if you've got sparring equipment, you don't need to bring that because we can't use it straight away anyway. I will let you know when to bring those and I'll let the students know. Bring a water, as I said, any medical needs that you might have, whether it's asthma or something like that. But please don't bring anything else that you don't really need. If it's a little bit cold and wet and windy, obviously, bring a coat. Other than that, that's it. Must wear trainers or martial arts shoes or plimp soles. Just one of those three. No Crocs, please. No Wellington boots. No flip-flops. No sandals. Okay, or no school shoes. And this is for, obviously, for protect from anything being picked up from any surfaces, but also trainers, martial arts shoes and plimp soles have the ability to enable the student to move in the correct way without the shoe coming off as well. If there isn't the stability in the shoe, what can happen is when they turn and twist and move, they could roll their ankle, damage their ankle. They could even damage the shoe itself. We've had instances where some children have kicked and the shoe, the flip-flop and things have flown off. They're not able to move properly and so on. So it's for the child and the student's safety more than anything else. Okay, so please make sure that's in place. If we can also ask that all students and parents, you wait in your cars until we call you in. Now, obviously, some of our locations have got a car park. So when we call them in, if you want to walk your little one over to make sure it's nice and safe, walk them to the door, that's absolutely fine. And then walk back and then collect them as well at the end. That's absolutely fine. But please do wait. And this is to make sure that we are not having congregations of parents and clusters of parents and people outside as well. Okay, need to be socially distanced, and the easiest way to do that, just wait in the car, a little bit more comfortable as well. If you don't come via car, please make sure you are socially distanced, okay, as normal. If you need to use the toilet, absolutely, by all means do come in, and there'll be plenty of hand sanitizer, same systems that we've had before. So please please do look out for that as well. All right, and as usual, at the end we'll bring them out and then we'll hand over as normal. The other slight tweak from the COVID safe guidelines last year, and we are asking all students who are in secondary school and above, so adults as well, please come wearing a mask, and you must wear that mask in all public spaces. As soon as you enter the training hall itself, the dojo itself, you can take it off. That's absolutely fine. But when walking to the building, when walking into the building in the public corridors and things, all students who are secondary age and above, please make sure you wear a mask. If students want to wear a mask in the class, you are more than welcome. We've got some that we can provide. We've also got gloves as well. We will be also giving out hand sanitizer at the beginning, at the end, and obviously just making sure all the space is clear. If you've got any concerns whatsoever about how we're running the classes and our COVID safe policies, please do get in touch and I'll discuss that with you. And if there are any particular areas then either a little one might be a little bit apprehensive of, then that helps us just to ease them and just make them more comfortable. But the idea is to make sure that we can, everyone can train in a really, really safe environment, but also in a fun and learning environment as well, not just for students, but also for instructors as well. And that's really, really key. And then obviously as we come to May and then into June, hopefully everything's going to plan. And then when the date comes in June and all the guidelines and the restrictions have been lifted, we can come back to normal training, i.e. using pads and sparring and contact and all those kind of wonderful, exciting things that everyone's been itching to do. But well done on how you've adapted to the training so far. Apologies for being rather thorough on those little bits, but it is really, really important to get those across. Please do remember, whether you agree with all the aspects of COVID, restrictions in place and so on, by attending and booking in class, you are accepting the COVID guidelines that we are putting in place. And we've had to put those in place to enable us to run classes. It is not a case of booking in your student and then ignoring some of the guidelines. By booking in, you are confirming that you understand that they are in place and that you understand that they must be followed, and we really, really appreciate that. There have been cases of some martial arts schools across the country that they've had drop-in inspections. We are really, really confident that we've got everything in place to make sure everyone's safe and will have a lot of fun, but obviously it requires a lot of help from your side as well. So thank you in advance for that, and thank you for your patience. And obviously, like you, we cannot wait to get back to full normal classes. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time to listen on the grading part and the back to classes. 3 weeks left. That's all it is. So keep patient. We are nearly there, and we will be there sooner rather than later and quicker than you think. And I cannot wait to see you. So have a great week. Hope school's going well for all the children. Hope work is settling for you adults. And I will see you very soon. Take care.